by the Massachusetts Anti-Slavery Society. And today in 1924, Arthur Allen Fletcher, known to many as the founder of affirmative action, was born. Yes, today in 1924. And today in 1943, W.E.B. Du Bois became the first black person to be elected to the National Institute of Arts and Letters. Today in 1982, Jamaican reggae and dancehall artist Assassin, aka Jeffrey Campbell, was born in Nuttall Hospital, right there in Kingston, Jamaica. So it's the birthday of Assassin, Jamaican dancehall artist. Oh my God. And he's changed his name now from Assassin. Assassin means a killer. We will tell you his other name later in the Shaka Box. Now, today in 1988, South Africa, Cuba, and Angola signed a formal peace agreement that granted Namibia independence from South Africa. So you see why we decided to choose a proverb from Namibia today. Today is the Independence Day of Namibia. And I'm most excited to be with you. What else can I say? What else can I do but to just say thank you so much? I appreciate you, and I see so many people right there in the African History class. Thank you so much for joining us, all you wonderful people right there in the class. We love you, and you know we love you. I see you, Daniel Kwame J. Thank you so much. He's our Proverbs master right here in the African History class, all the way from the scrap city of Abozokai. I also see you right now. Oh, yes, I see you, and you are smiling at me. Sadia Hips, thank you so much for joining us. Kaylin Kokoke, I see you too. Here you are. Oh, and Sophie Akosia Ave, former ambassador of France to Ghana. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and we love you. Many more people right in the African History class. Not Ebubedike is our photo archivist. Ras Otu for Nana to follow to Jaja I. To me go from Yabo! Eugene and Eugenia and Pipra, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. TJ is all the way from Cass City, aka Kaswa. Mashoud Abiola is also here. I see you, Black Lion, the General. Thank you so much for joining us. Nana Konedu Ajima Rollins, former First Lady of Ghana. Thank you, we appreciate you. Yabo! Ras Otu for Nana to follow to Jaja I. To Bigo from many more people right there in the African History class. Bobo Sly is a rice seller inside the Penny. Thank you so much for joining us. I see you, Lexis Bill. Thank you for joining us. I see many more people right there in the African History class. Can you see who I see? Thank you so much, Nat Ebubedike, for joining us. I also see you right here, smiling at me. I know what you want, and I'm about to give it to you. Buhari, the AC specialist. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Bob Etona Malik, Daddy Bosco. I see you too. Oh, the swaggerlistic Don Dada. Thank you for joining us. Royal Stallion Osman with Drago Moru. I see you too. Ras Osanye Fudua Bill. Tindando. Egomado. Eduabelian Zorbil. Yabo! This is the African History class. I see you, Shashamali. Here you are, also Black Bingy. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining us, Black Bingy, the italist. We appreciate you and we love you. Many more people right in the African History class. Oh my God, can you see who I see? I see you, Hyperlink Africa. I see you, Mighty Don Duvasti, aka the Mad Kuchoko engineer. Many more people right in the African History class. TJ, all the way from Cass City, please sit down. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you. Today I see so many politicians in the class. Oh my God, it looks like they're having a field day today. All right, okay, everybody get seated. This is the African History class, and if your name has not been mentioned, feel no way, we'll certainly mention your name before the end of the class. I see you, Last Kobe. You are a trotro driver inside Awushi Teshi Kaneshi. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the class. Kojo Rasta, I see you all the way inside England. And of course, you are with your pretty wife, Obroni Achu. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and we love you. Obroni Nanaya Achu. you happen to also be right here in the African history class, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate you. And I see you, oh my God, all the way from Hartford. Oh my God. Pixie Messiah, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Oh, Empress Nadifa, I see you too all the way from England. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And remember, the broadcast is also live on Conscious Radio and TV right there inside Manchester in Connecticut. No 2 weeks about them Tinderman. This is the African history class, and our class today will last 10 minutes. Now today, my brother, my sister, we're taking you deep down into the archives of Ghanaian music, as we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Today we're talking about one of the founders of the African Brothers Band International. Oh gosh, the African Brothers Band was founded in 1963. Kwame Nkrumah advocated to have African bands, in fact, high life bands, playing just like the Ramblers International Band. And heeding to that call, hearkening to that call, some 6 people decided to come together and found what got known as the African Brothers Band. 10 years later, it metamorphosed into what was known as the African Brothers International Band, and that was headed by Nana Ampadu, at that time called Patrick Ampadu. My brother, my sister, today we're taking you deep down into the annals of history. Now, did you know, my brother, my sister, that there was a band by name the African Brothers Band, and this was founded in 1963. It was founded by some 6 great people. One of them we are talking about today. Yesterday we talked about one of them. Did you know that Patrick Ampadu, aka Nana Kwame Ampadu, was also nicknamed Steel? Did you know that? Did you know that? Steel. He was known as Steel. My brother, my sister, this is the African history class, and today we are talking about the man who always wore a very, very different hat. We are talking about one of the deepest in high life music, one of the most successful, Senior Eddie Donkor. Gravata, aye. Oh, Gravata, aye. Owo abedroom krabata. Hey, owo de aminbonu din boni kra na owo ya banka obia beko. Enti udi owo una mea media minsro udi owo una Samuel free ya onsro udi owo una amaka ono so onsro.
Abajise mun krabata no
Owo abedi mun krabata.
No na abajise mun krabata no. Ejo na abajise mun krabata no. Minstro na abajise mun krabata.
Minstro, this is Senior Eddie Donkor, and this is the man we're talking about today. Now this man here says death is a very necessary end, and death is actually a friend and not an enemy. And that if you threaten me with death, I am not afraid, because I know death is lurking just around our neighborhood. Great piece of music by all standards. Of course, he didn't fear death. He actually loved death. No wonder he embraced death in 1995. Today, my brother, my sister, we're talking about Senior Eddie Donkor, the man who was born on the Independence Day of Ghana in 1942. Of course, at that time, there was no Ghana, there was Gold Coast. Senior Eddie Donkor. Now, Eddie Donkor was born Edward Kofi Donkor. Edward Kofi Donkor. And he was born in 1942. The 6th of March in 1942. And of course, Senior Eddie Donkor was born in Ekropong in the eastern region of the Gold Coast, now called Ghana, on the 6th of March in 1942. At a very early age, his father, who was a farmer, did not want him to end up as a farmer. He wanted him to secure white-collar jobs, so he took him to school. And he went to the Ekropong Presbyterian School, where he was keen on doing music, even though his father told him, no, do not do music. I want you to be able to sit in the office and write white-collar jobs, he meant. But Eddie Donkor was so interested in music. But finally, his father said, everything is better than coming to farm like me. In those days, it was almost like a curse to farm. Implements were so rugged and obsolete. Oh, in those days, a little was given to farmers. So Senior Eddie Donkor's father did not want his son to be a farmer. He wanted his son to acquire white-collar jobs, so he went to school. But whilst in school, as destiny would have it, he was more interested in the rhythm. No wonder later in life, he was known as the king of rhythm. He loved rhythms, and he would dance so spectacularly to almost every rhythm. And he could create rhythms at will, at the beck and call of his, oh my God have mercy, talent. He was able to make rhythms work. Senior Eddie Donkor. See the interesting thing that happened now. Now, Senior Eddie Donkor was among some 6 people who listened to the call or hearkened to the call of Kwame Nkrumah to start high life bands in Ghana. Nkrumah wanted to change the name from high life to something else. But there was one man who said no, because he was the king of high life. My brother, my sister, and Nkrumah let it go. Nkrumah did not like the name high life, because high life actually glorifies white people and colonialists. So in independence, Nkrumah sought to change the name from high life to something else. And he wanted Ghanaians to decide what name the genre be called. But there was one man who was known as the king of high life. And only one man in the history of this country has ever been known as the king of high life. Do you know? Do you know, students? Do you know the king of high life? If you know it, put up your hand and let me see. How many of you know the king of high life? Daniel Kwame J, do you know the king of high life? And interestingly, he was a Ghanaian. How many of us know the king of high life? Oh, students, put up your hand if you know. Yes, Kaylin Kokoke. The king of high life. Who? Tell me. Anybody knows? Oh, correct. Put their hands together. Oh, God. E.T. Mensah. E.T. Mensah was known as the king of high life. Emmanuel Tete Mensah, he himself was born in 1919, 10 years after Kwame Nkrumah was born, and he died on the 19th of July in 1996. He was a Ghanaian musician who was regarded as the king of high life. And when Nkrumah wanted to change the name from high life to something else, to run away from colonialism and colonial undertones, E.T. Mensah refused, because if they change the name, that means his king of high life will be derogatory. That title will be derogatory. So selfishly, he stood against it, and up till now, the name high life has remained. My producer is trying to find you the photo of E.T. Mensah, so you'll see exactly who we are talking about, the king of high life. My brother, my sister. And he was a renowned king of high life. He was known all over the world as the king of high life. By changing the name from high life, he felt that he was going to be mocked. In fact, especially with the reasons Nkrumah was given for changing the name. Colonialist mentality, my brother, my sister. This is the African history class. Hear this now. Now, in 1963, the African Brothers Band was founded, and you can see the people who founded the band. My brother, my sister, Senior Eddie Donkor was the one who brought the ideas, and he was in charge of the vocals and rhythm guitar. Patrick Ampadu, who we spoke about, my brother, my sister, Nana Kwame Ampadu, aka Pastil, was also part of them, including Rova Kofi Amo, and then Maxwell, Teacher Boat was also part of it, including Eko Fori and Kwame Enim, including Nana Nyako and Ya Asante and Ya Owusu. Oh gosh. These are the people whose photos you see there. And this is the king of high life, E.T. Mensah. Emmanuel Tete Mensah, such a renowned singer. My brother, my sister, this is the African history class. And then the African Brothers Band, my brother, my sister, was initiated by Senior Eddie Donkor, who was in charge of the vocals and rhythm guitar. Patrick Ampadu was in charge of vocals as well, and he was nicknamed Pastil. Later on, he dropped the name and picked up Nana Kwame Ampadu. Now, we also had Rova Kofi Amo, including Maxwell, Teacher Boaten, A.K.O. Fori was one of them, Kwame Enim, Nana Nyako, and Yao Asante, including Yao Owusu, were part of the African Brothers Band, as you can see them here in all suit. My brother, my sister, look at what happened. 10 years later, the band disbanded, and it became the Africa Brothers International Band after Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in 1966. But Senior Eddie Donkor decided to move away from the band to form his own band, and it was called the Asiko International Band. Asiko International Band. No wonder he released a song by title Asiko Darling.
This is 3FM. This is 3FM.
Donkor toured the whole of Ghana, all the way from Accra down to all the wonderful places in the northern region of Ghana. They went to Boko, they went to Bolga, they went all the way to Bukulugu, all the way to Zabrigaga, Duri, Gaga, Gaga, Duri, all the places they visited. My brother, my sister, Senior Eddie Donkor. He was a very successful high life musician and another very successful member of his former band. Nana Kwame and Pedu became his arch rival, but they saw each other more as brothers. This one was engaged here and doing all he could. That other one too was over here doing all his things. The advantage, Nana Kwame and Pedu, whose photograph you see here, he had over Senior Eddie Donkor, was that he was a prolific writer and he wrote songs in just the twinkle of an eye. 800 songs in his career, and he wrote several songs for other people. But Senior Eddie Donkor was more interested in performances rather than recording songs. He had more songs on stage than songs on tape. Senior Eddie Donkor was an old-timer. He was one of the most established high life music performers in Ghana and toured various countries, including the United States of America. He went to Canada. He even went to Belgium and some other such places. Hey, in fact, Senior Eddie Donkor even had a daughter who later became a singer. In fact, a high life singer. Did you know? Did you know that? Do you want to know the name? Do you want to know the name, or should I give it to you as homework, students? All right, think about it, man. Think about it. Now, he played in so many different live bands. In fact, 5 of them in all before he established his own band. And then he played in so many different prestigious venues in Ghana during the height of his time and fame. Oh my God. He toured with Ghana's #1 comedian at the time, Bob Okala, Bishop Bob Okala. Oh my God. And it was big. Hear me now. So see what happened now. Senior Eddie Donkor traveled all across the world and he sang mostly in Twi. But he also sang in so many different languages. In one song, he could sing in as many as 4 or 5 different Ghanaian languages and even more. So when you listen to songs like Maya Hot, New King, New Law, and a song like Kwana Fast, they are songs that have more than 2 languages sung in each one of them. In fact, and it's interesting, I'm going to be playing you My Heart very, very soon so that you would hear exactly what I'm talking about. He also had a song called Yebu Didi. Yebu Didi, it's just so Kochaka Kran, now what Didi, come. My brother, my sister, today we're talking about Senior Eddie Donkor. to learn from people like Senior Eddie Donkor and even Nana Kwame Ampedu and more, like E.T. Mensah, the king of high life. Senior Eddie Donkor had a daughter. Did anybody get the name? Okay, Sadia Abes. What's the name of the daughter? Oh, yes, correct. Oh, my God. God, Abna Nyate. Abna Nyate. In fact, was the daughter of Senior Eddie Donkor, and she was also into music in the 80s. My brother, my sister, Senior Eddie Donkor fell ill. Oh, my God. Ebeye enye ye. Ebeye enye ye. Ebeye, oh, ebeye, Yamfanuko hospital. He went to the hospital. Where the yare, where the doctor yare, yare, where the doctor yare, Muma shenu you. Oh, do sunibi wa betuma sanu yare, do sunibi wa betuma sanu yare. Okay, do sunino wa he, oh, cropon baby. They took him all the way to the herbalist. Oh, the herbalist did all he could. But he was still hoping that he'll be able to make it. Ebeye. Osafu bi baby, I'm friend manu bompa manu ebeye. Omuye ya anyeye. Now on the 24th of April 1985, on a Papa zauzi ebeye. Papa nyana unauzi ebeye no. Papa. Oh, Papa, what done? Oh, Papa, sorry, what? Papa, Mrs. Sorry, oh, Papa, me go. Papa, Mrs. Mirago. Papa, Mirago, what? Papa, Mrs. Mirago. Senior Eddie Donkor said bye-bye to us. He died on the 24th day of April in 1995. He died. He was born in 1942. And he said bye-bye to us in 1995. My brother, my sister, at the age of 53. Papa. Papa zauzi ebeye. Papa nyara una uzi ebeye no. Papa uzi yama ya kumantoye yemu. Papa wadada ye. Wacha weni asheban. Oh Papa wadani obidie. Papa wacha weni asheban. Wacha. Yeah, Papa. Oh, Papa. He died. And there was a huge funeral. Senior Eddie Donkor, the man who gave us the answer in his music, never ever to cry when he died. We're banker. Miss Rowo. Men for who on dada me, men for who also una me. In 1995, my brother, my sister, he died and was buried at his hometown of Ikropong as he willed. He wanted to stay to his roots. He wanted to be buried where his umbilical cord was buried. Today we remember you, Papa, and in the burden of knowledge we ask. Now that you know the story of Senior Eddie Donkor, what would you do? Biane ole amini oba fe yenzu da kagane mezaka yine ye papango bokaya nfifia ye nyanu kai na wo bana enwe be den lele ya njima singa be kunne lele ya njima singa be ri
tu gwavi papa mula home mama mula home au na imavinye.
It's been the African history class. I am the lion. Make way for the lion.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here. Zabu, zabu.